Alright guys, it's approximately 11:49 p.m. I've worked about 10 hours today and this is the start of essentially. I'm really regretting the fact that I told you guys I would do all 4 group predictions, but here we are, and I'm on quite a timeline because group stage starts in about a little over 24 hours. So we're going to push these things out here and now. Thank you all so much for joining. Honestly, I'm just messing around with you guys. I love doing this. It has been a very busy week with the holidays. I hope all you guys had great holidays, and I hope your New Year's is even better. We are getting on to one of the spiciest, and maybe the reason why I didn't do this group for a while, Group C. We've got RSG Singapore, Occupy Thrones, RRQ Hoshi, and Echo. Now, a lot of other casters, Leo, I've been calling this group the group of death, right? This is, I think when we started doing the group draw, we were looking at all the groups and we thought this one was going to kind of, first it was Occupy Thrones, then RSG, or it was RSG, then Occupy Thrones, and it's like, all right, and then you get RRQ and you're like, all right, and then you get Echo. And now this group got interesting, right? Definitely very, very interesting. Probably, the more I rotate this group around in my mind, the more I think of different ways it can go. But definitely the major 2 teams we're all keeping our eyes on, RRQ Hoshi and Echo. After that, RSG Singapore, and then Occupy Thrones. And I don't want to count anybody out. And right, I think a lot of things could happen here. But let's not waste any time. Let's jump over to our predictions board. Now, Game 1 for me that I'm going to be looking at is RRQ Hoshi up against Occupy Thrones. Now, RRQ Hoshi, we know them, we love them. They're a team that, as long as they like to really prioritize making sure Vin gets some of his picks here, but we also have to look at their EXP liner, R7, and then as well as their jungler, Albert. Now, RRQ Hoshi is a team that's known for being aggressive. They used to really shine in some of that assassin meta, picks like Lance. With the way the meta is kind of shifting back possibly towards that, this could be a Emerald series that they do well at. Now, I will say last year they didn't do amazing in M3, but I think they got top. They did good. They did good. But it was also kind of an assassin meta, right? But still, we're in the group stage and up against a team like Occupy Thrones, which seems kind of have the same issue that some of the other newer teams I feel like have. Teams like Incendio or Malvinas or MDH or some of these other kind of newer teams in a sense. They seem very one-sided. They seem they don't have a whole lot of depth. And Occupy Thrones, for those that don't know, we have Hulk in the EXP, Gato in the gold lane, Fury 77 in the mid lane, Leo as jungler, Lio, hopefully I'm gotta figure out how to say that right before I start casting, and Morrow as the roamer. The problem with them, something similar to what we talked about in Group A with Incendio, they seem to be a bit more passive in the early game, maybe even defensive. There's some teams that are amazing at that. Blacklist used to be really good at just kind of hitting that rubber band. But if you have not perfected that, and if that's the only thing you can do, like if you don't have an aggressive bone in your body in those first 4, 5, 6 minutes, it's going to be a problem, especially against a team like RRQ Hoshi, where you have Albert, who the moment he hits level 4, he is going to pounce. Right? The moment their jungler hits level 4, they're making plays. They know their power spikes by heart, and the moment any member on their team gets to that power spike, they're going to be down your throat. And the question is, can Occupy Thrones withstand that and try to get to a late game, which is their comfort zone? I don't know. And especially in just a best of 1 series, I don't think they're going to be able to. I think RRQ takes this game with ease. It's either going to be a very long drawn out game. The thing is RRQ can also play the long game if they need to, especially against a team that maybe isn't as experienced against them. RRQ should be able to take this dub with ease. After that, RSG Singapore up against Echo. Now, Echo has become a team that I've kind of become a little bit of a fan for, honestly. You have Sanford in the EXP, if anyone doesn't know, Benny Cutie in the gold, Sanji in the mid, Carl Teasy as jungler, and Yawi as roamer. Now, Sanji, definitely, I've been seeing some clips of some of their play. Definitely great players. Yaoi really kind of sets the pace of the team in the early stage. He wants to be able to make plays happen, keep vision on the enemies, be a little bit of aggressive. To definitely his forte in the early game is kind of his playground. So RSG's gonna have to be careful for that. And Echo they seem to, when we talked about Occupy Thrones not having depth, Echo does seem to have depth. They seem to have plans for early game, mid game, and late game. Now, taking a look at RSG Singapore, Diablo in the EXP, Baby Cakes in the gold, 505 in mid, Bray in jungle, and Lulzy in roamer. They seem to also be another team that wants to try to get to a late game, possibly having a little bit of trouble in the early game unless they can get like a perfect draft down, which isn't always going to happen, right? Especially when you're going up against teams like Echo with great coaches, great analysis. They have a big backbone behind their team. They're going to be able to shake things up if they want to, and that might be where RSG Singapore loses this in the draft. Now, because it's a best of one, draft could be honestly a little bland, right? It could not be anything too major. Could not have too much well, it's definitely not going to have evolution to it because it's just a best of one. But still, I think overall, Echo will take this game. I'm someone that believes Echo is going to get really far in this tournament, top 4, top 3, top 2. I don't think RSG Singapore is going to be able to get the win here. I think Echo ends up taking it. Now, after this, we have probably one of the hottest games in this series, and that's going to be Echo up against RRQ Hoshi. Now, I have rolled this game around in my head all day, all week. One moment I'm thinking Echo is going to take it. One moment I'm thinking RRQ is going to take it. We did this round table the other day. I don't know if any of you guys noticed it. We had a bunch of casters, a bunch of content creators, etc., and we were talking about different things. And I was talking about how RRQ sometimes really just like they fold under pressure a bit, right? I was asking Mirko about it. I was like, don't they always kind of whiff? I mean, and something in my gut's telling them that I don't know if they're going to do great this tournament, but also thinking just a best of one against Echo. Now that I'm talking about it more, I think they make that game. Especially just the way the meta's pointing. I think Echo is a great team, and I think in the long haul, Echo does come out on top of RRQ in the knockout stage. But you know what? I think RRQ beats Echo in the group stage. I don't think they're going to... I think if somehow they go up against them in the knockout stage, they may end up losing. And again, all my predictions are going to change when we see the group stage. But I think RRQ Hoshi... going to give it to RRQ here. Going to give it to RRQ Hoshi here, saying that they take the win against Echo. After this, I think things are pretty cut and dry, right? Occupy Thrones against RSG Singapore. You know what? This actually could end up being a good game. I want to say that like one of these underdog teams, like we have like Akira, Occupy Thrones, Incendio, Malvinas. I feel like one of these teams may end up surprising us. I don't know if it's going to be Occupy Thrones. But when I go over all the notes on like both of these teams, they both seem to kind of have the similar downfalls, right? So why not just make Group C really spicy here? I'm gonna give this game to Occupy Thrones. I don't know if they're actually gonna pull it off. RSG Singapore could definitely win this, but let's just get crazy in Group C. It's a group of death. Why not? Let's get crazy. Let's give this game to Occupy Thrones, saying that they're gonna take this. After that, we have RSG Singapore up against RRQ Hoshi. Again, with RRQ Hoshi being able to get so aggressive in the early mid game, I got a feeling they take the win on this one. Not going to go into too much depth. Maybe it's because it's late. Maybe it's because I'm tired. I'm kind of skimming through Group C. But that is it. After that, Occupy Thrones versus Echo. Echo definitely stomps Occupy Thrones here. Echo just too much dynamic. Too much ability to take them through the whole game. Even if things get to the comfort zone of late game, I think, for Occupy Thrones, Echo still comes out on top on this. I think in just mechanics, fight skills, all of it. I think Echo takes the win on this one. That is it, guys, for Group C. Let's take a look on the final standings. RRQ Hoshi gets top of the group 3-0. Echo 2-1 taking their loss against RRQ. Occupy Thrones comes in third, 1-2 getting their single win against RSG SG, and RSG SG gets bottom of the group 0-3. Now again, just a prediction, guys, and I got pretty spicy with Group C. I got a little crazy. It's just a hard guess. Honestly, I think either of these two teams could end up getting the win here, but for some reason in my gut, I'm thinking give us a show. Give us a show. That's what we want to see. Hopefully we see a little bit of the beginning in the group stage. Thank you guys for watching. If you disagree, agree, it's cool. I don't really care. Leave a comment down in the description and let me know how much you hate me or how much you love me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Group D will be coming out probably right around the same time as this one because I'm in such a time crunch. Thank you guys for watching. Trex out.